Hello, I'm Dr. Tiwari from Government College, Sri Ganganagar. Today we are going to discuss the element of pathos in the novel The Shadow Lines, written by Amitav Ghosh. In fact, uh, it's not an exaggeration to say that the novel The Shadow Lines is a study in pathos. Several of its characters suffer arrows and slings of mind, to borrow a phrase from Hamlet, due to cultural dislocation and psychological dissociation. Naturally, their sufferings, which are not retribution or nemesis of their misdeeds, generate feelings of pathos. The worst sufferer due to cultural dislocation is Ila. She is the daughter of a high office official of Yono, who is transferred from one country to another. Naturally, his daughter is also transferred with her father. As a result, she becomes a rudderless boat or a ship which is left to the mercy of the winds and waves. She becomes a stranger, or rather a foreigner among the members of her own family. When she was young, she had to go to England because her father was to spend a year teaching in a university in the north of England. Mrs. Price arranged for Ella to go to school with her son, Nick Price, who did not want to be seen in the company of an Indian girl. She was beaten and humiliated, and Nick Price did not help her. The incident was imprinted on her mind so clearly that she couldn't help narrating it while playing house with the narrator. Her doll, Magda, she says, was better than her classmates, including one, Dennis, who was advised by the teacher to take English lessons from her, even though it's your own language, not hers. He got so infuriated that instead of taking lessons from her, he gave her a lesson. 3, 4 boys chased after her, and she was running to save herself. As she says, soon something hit her between her shoulders and she fell sprawling on the pavement. When she looked up, Janice was scowling down at her, panting. Bloody wag, Nignog. There was nothing else she could do. Janice was too strong for her. Unquote. According to her story, Nick Price helped her to her feet and put his sweet in her mouth and led her to her house. But May Price reports, I happened to be at home that day, and I know that Nick didn't stop to help Ella. He ran all the way back. An hour or so later, just when we were beginning to worry about Ella, a policeman brought her back. She was a bit bruised, but otherwise all right. She never told us what happened, but she didn't go back to school after that. And then, soon after, they left. Ella sustained bruises not on her body, but on her psyche. Since she is living in London, Thammas speaks with utmost hatred against her. She uses invectives against her only because she dresses herself like an English girl. Thamma says perhaps she is better than she was when she came here last year, with her hair cut short like the bristles on a toothbrush, wearing tight trousers like a free school street whore. Unquote. She gets a very bad treatment from Robbie in Grand Hotel. As she danced with a stranger, Robbie becomes furious. He hit the businessman hard and dragged Ella out of the hotel. as has been described in the novel. He caught hold of the neck of Ila's blouse with one hand and wrenched her away from the businessman. Then he opened the palm of his hand and planted it squarely in the middle of the man's chest. Arching his shoulder back, he swiveled suddenly with so much force that the man staggered back for a good 5 feet or so, taking his chair with him. Unquote. Robbie is an Indian to the marrow of his bones. He cannot tolerate that his niece should dance with a stranger in a hotel. He thinks it is sin to be so close with a stranger, forgetting that it is an innocuous enjoyment in England. She is so grievously hurt that she weeps and scolds the narrator and Robbie. The most unfortunate is she in her love for Nick Price. She loves him truly and deeply. She gets married to him, though she knows that Nick Price is something of a libertine. Nick tells her that he has had affairs with several women because he likes a bit of variety. Yet she tells the narrator, "Don't you see? I wouldn't leave if he moved the whole bloody massage parlor from Bangkok into the house." Ila is a woman who is abused and tortured for no fault of hers. The reader has nothing but pity for this defenseless girl. But pity is mixed with admiration when one comes to know that she has been living in a poor way in London, though she has all the comforts at home because she is working with anti-Nazi group, goes on demonstrations and acts in radical plays for Indian immigrants in East London. May Price is another character that arouses pathos. She is the daughter of Mrs. Price and S.N.I. Price. She entertains letters from Tredib when she was trying to get over an adolescent crush on a schoolboy trombonist who had no time for her at all and had not been overly delicate about making that clear. It was nice to feel that someone wanted to befriend her. She continues her correspondence with Tredib and comes to Calcutta to meet him on getting invitation from him. She is a very innocent girl. The narrator remarks that her innocence is not born of ignorance, but a forthright, unworldly kind of innocence which I had never met before in a woman. She goes to Dhaka with Tredib and party to retrieve Thamma's Jethamashai. Tredib is killed in the effort to save the old man from the rioters. She considers herself responsible for the death of Tredib because he died while following her and her idealism. Tredib's death is a tragic incident arousing pity. He is a young intellectual, straight and upright. He goes with his mother and aunt to bring his old granduncle from Dhaka and is killed by the rioters. As he sees his beloved May Price running to rescue the old man, he follows her. A young life is lost unnecessarily. His father, Shaheb, had already advised them not to go to the riot-torn Dhaka. The life of the man who dies at the hands of the rioters is a colossal waste because his sacrifice doesn't do good to anybody. The communal harmony still remains a far cry. The relatives of the deceased in such cases are terribly grieved. Ruby is so much affected by the incident that he sees the incident in his dream. Even years after the incident, he tells, I only get it about twice a year now, but it used to be once a week when I was younger in college, for instance. But I learned to control it. I often know when it is coming, and on nights like that, I try not to sleep. It always begins with our car going around a corner. I've never been able to rid myself of that dream ever since it first happened. When I was a child, I used to pray that it would go away. If it had, there would have been nothing else really to remind me of that day. But it wouldn't go. It strayed. Incidents such as these are related in the novel, and only to arouse pathos, but to tell the communal diehards that communal riots destroy the lives of promising young men. Thank you.